Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Storyist. Tigers are animals that people have always considered wild, and for most of them living in jungles, we see as ruthless and merciless. But what we don't realize is that animals have feelings and memories too. Today, I will be telling you a story about an incredible reaction of a wild tiger after seeing a pregnant woman. Stay until the end of the video to find out what the whole story is. Cleo is a businesswoman. She is living in the middle of the bustling New York City with her husband. They got married 3 years ago, but until now, they are still in the same stage of trying to have a child. There are times that Cleo gets tired and hopeless to even try. She feels like the universe does not even want them to have their own family that they have been dreaming of for 3 long years. But still, despite all the rejections to have a baby, Cleo and her husband Chris are still going to try until they receive that ultimate blessing. Cleo grew up in the rainforests of Peru, as her father is a zoologist there. She used to go with her father wherever he went on adventures in the Peruvian forest to study animals. Cleo loved animals as much as she loved her business. She had always dreamt of becoming a veterinarian when she was just a little girl, but then changed her mind when she went to college. She then wanted to help animals find their forever home. So that was the business that she built. She created a home for lost animals in the city or even beyond its outskirts, and cared for them until they were ready to find their new homes. But this is only one of her various businesses. She also has her own line of pet foods, and some accessories for different kinds of pets as well. This business is a huge deal in New York, and she is earning more than what her family needs. So she thinks that the only missing piece in her life now is a baby. When Cleo was young, she would play with the wild animals in the Peruvian forest. There were tigers there, sometimes gorillas, wild monkeys, and many more life-threatening animals that most of us wouldn't even dare to come close to. But Cleo did not fear them because they were friends with her father, and therefore they were friends with her too. It has been a very long time ago since Cleo last set foot in the Peruvian forest. She was just 7 years old when her mother and father separated. When that happened, her mother won custody over her and they both flew to New York City. She has lived her whole life as a city girl ever since. At first, the adjustment was difficult for her. She was the jungle girl, more like the girl version of Tarzan. And then she was transferred to a concrete jungle. Everything was very different for her. Every once in a while, she missed her colorful and adventurous childhood in the jungle while in the city. The most adventurous thing she had done yet was grabbing some liquor from the convenience store using a fake ID. Typical teenagers. She had always wanted to go back somehow and visit her father. But since the day they left, her father had his new family there in Peru, and she had been busy with her studies and then her business later on. One night, while she was praying before going to sleep, she remembered her beautiful childhood in the jungle. She thought she wanted to go back before she and her husband had a child, and at least relive her childhood one last time. She prayed to God that if He gave her a child, she will go back to her hometown one last time. The next morning after that, Cleo wakes up to a churning feeling in her stomach. She runs to the bathroom and she vomits for minutes. At first, she thinks she might be sick, so her first instinct is to go to the doctor. She asks her husband Chris to drive her to the doctor, and when they get there, they receive very surprising news. "You're not sick, Mrs. Norton. You're just experiencing morning sickness. This is normal for any pregnant woman in the early stages of their pregnancy," the doctor says. Cleo and Chris are shocked. Their eyes and mouths are both wide open. Seeing this, the doctor realizes that Cleo doesn't even know she is pregnant. So he offers to give Cleo an ultrasound, and there it is. The doctor hears a loud beating of the baby's heart. Cleo is indeed pregnant. Cleo and Chris are so happy. The blessing they have been praying for 3 years has now finally come. So of course, Cleo and Chris plan for the pregnancy very well. They don't want to make any mistake on something that they waited on for so long. Before the couple leaves the hospital, Cleo remembers her prayer the other night, how she promised to God that she will go back to her hometown in Peru and relive her childhood one last time if she ever gets pregnant. Now that she already is, she is now ready to finally go back to her hometown. Cleo tells this to Chris, and her husband is thrilled. He grew up in New York as well and never gone any further than New Jersey. He is so excited to visit his wife's childhood memories as well. So they pack their things and clothes for the flight. However, Cleo's doctor calls the couple just before they book their flight and tells her to be extra careful because her pregnancy is fragile and more sensitive than usual pregnancies. This breaks Cleo's heart, but she has no other choice but to stay at home and be healthy. 8 months pass by, and when Cleo has assured her doctor that her pregnancy is strong enough to travel to Peru, she and her husband did not let go of the precious moment. They immediately booked a flight 1 month before her due date. On the day of her flight, Cleo and Chris are over the moon. They are very excited and they can't wait to see her hometown. In the middle of the flight, the plane suddenly bumps into something. No one knows what it is, but the plane continues flying like normal. Then after a short while, the engine starts to break, and the whole plane is about to fall to the ground. Cleo is praying really hard with her husband to protect them and their baby, whatever happens. In less than 5 minutes, their free fall lands into a jungle. Good thing everybody is wearing their seatbelts. No one got seriously hurt. There are injured people, but everyone is alive. However, their grave problem is that they are in the middle of a wild jungle, and there is no cell service. A crowd of injured people all together in the middle of nowhere will surely attract wild predators any minute. The passengers start to help each other, while also keeping alert of wild animals roaming around. All of a sudden, a huge tiger walks towards the people. The tiger is growling loudly, almost ready to attack. The people are panicking. But then Cleo stands up and tells them to calm down. The tiger will not attack us if we are all just calm and act like it isn't here, Cleo says. After this, the people stay quiet and do not move. When Cleo sees the tiger, she holds up both her hands and calmly sits down. However, the tiger continues walking towards her. Cleo is starting to feel fear, and Chris has readied his long stick as a weapon in case the tiger attacks his wife. But the next thing that happens shocks everyone. The tiger gets closer to Cleo, and when it is at her feet, it smells and purrs loudly like a cat finding its home. Confused, Cleo just goes along and starts petting the tiger's head. The tiger then lays on its back as if asking for a belly rub. So Cleo rubs its belly and the tiger purrs even louder. When Cleo sits, the tiger sees her huge belly and smells it, licks it, and purrs on it as if hugging her baby in her tummy. Everyone is moved by how the tiger acts, and some even start to film it. When Chris asks why the tiger likes her so much, Cleo replies, "This must have been the tiger that I have been playing with when I was a kid. And smelling my DNA inside my tummy, it just doubled my scent. He recognizes me and my family," exclaims Cleo. The tiger keeps on purring on her stomach and it even tickles her. Soon she remembers what she named the tiger when she was just a little girl, and she calls the tiger by its name. "Good girl, Ella," Cleo says. The tiger purrs even louder and licks her face. Everyone is amazed how the tiger recognized her after all of those years. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you in the next.